What if I told you that everything you've been taught about life, success, failure, even reality itself, has been a carefully constructed illusion? Think about it. Why do some people seem to navigate life effortlessly, while others struggle no matter how hard they try? What if the difference isn't luck, talent, or even intelligence, but something far more profound? The truth is, life isn't random. It's a video game metaphor, a carefully designed system with rules, challenges, and hidden mechanics that most people never figure out. And those who don't understand the game, they become pawns in someone else's playthrough. You've felt it before, the nagging sense that there's more to this existence than the daily grind. The moments where you question why things happen the way they do, why patterns seem to repeat, why some people always rise while others remain stuck. That's because you're not just a character in this game. You're the player, holding the joystick, capable of breaking free from the cycles that keep you trapped. But here's the kicker. Most people never realize they have control. They live in fear and illusion, blindly following the script society has written for them, never questioning the forces governing life. But you're different. You're here because something inside you is waking up, demanding answers. And once you start seeing the matrix for what it is, you can't unsee it. You can either keep playing the game like an NPC, letting life happen to you, or you can become a master of destiny, someone who understands the mechanics, bends the rules, and takes control. The choice is yours. But first, you need to understand exactly how this game works. Ready to unlock the truth? Let's dive in. The soul as the driving force of life. Imagine a player and character in a vast, open-world immersive experience. The soul is the player, while the body and mind are just the character moving through the game. Too often, people mistake their temporary identity for their true essence, getting lost in the game itself. But the real master of destiny understands that this life is a playground of choice, action, and consequence. Just like a joystick directs movement, the soul steers the character through challenges, relationships, and transformations. The key is remembering that you're not just the avatar, you are the force behind it. Every game has its forces governing life, determining what's possible, what's forbidden, and what must be unlocked. In this grand matrix, fear and illusion shape the way most people play, trapping them in cycles of reaction rather than conscious decision-making. But those who recognize their timeless soul can start to break free, choosing responses rather than reacting impulsively. Want proof? Look at history. Great leaders, artists, and thinkers all seem to operate from a place beyond their individual identities. They understood their deeper programming, rewriting their reality in ways that others couldn't. So, how do you tap into this awareness? The first step is breaking free from autopilot mode. Meditation, deep self-reflection, and journaling help reconnect with the real player inside. Some find it through breath work, others through philosophy or spiritual texts that awaken the sense of something greater. The point is to start questioning. Who is controlling the joystick? Are you making conscious choices, or are you just following the pre-programmed motions of survival? The more you step back and observe, the more you'll start seeing the game for what it is, a beautifully designed challenge, meant to be played with awareness. Life as a game, rules, challenges, and awakening. Think about your favorite video game metaphor. Whether it's an RPG, an open-world adventure, or a strategy game, they all have one thing in common: rules. Life is no different. From the moment you're born, you're placed into a system with invisible constraints, social norms, biological limits, and ingrained beliefs. But just like in a game, the best players aren't the ones who simply follow the script. They're the ones who learn the mechanics and break free from default settings. The greatest rewards don't come from playing it safe, but from mastering the forces governing life and bending them in your favor. Every player faces obstacles. Some levels are harder than others. Some enemies seem unbeatable. But what separates a beginner from a master of destiny is mindset. Do you see failures as game over screens or as respawn points? Every struggle, whether it's a financial crisis, heartbreak, or self-doubt, is a level designed to teach you something. Patterns repeat until you learn the lesson. Just like cyclic patterns in a game force you to adapt or remain stuck. Want to level up faster? Change your strategy. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" Ask, what is this teaching me? And here's the twist. This isn't a single-player game. Interdependence is one of the most overlooked mechanics of life. No great warrior, healer, or strategist wins alone. You need allies, mentors, and even rivals to push you forward. Think about the most legendary figures in history. None of them moved alone. They understood that collaboration, mentorship, and alignment with like-minded souls accelerate progress. Life is not just about survival. It's about awakening to the fact that the real game is learning to navigate relationships, knowledge, and purpose. Once you get this, the next level becomes clear. The illusion of duality, light, darkness, and the matrix. Most people spend their entire lives trapped in a mental matrix, believing that light and darkness are two opposing forces. Good versus evil, success versus failure, happiness versus suffering. But what if this duality is just another illusion, a trick of perception meant to keep you locked in a loop? Fear and illusion act as the code that programs how people see reality, making them believe that one side must be conquered for the other to thrive. In truth, evil and darkness aren't separate from the path of growth. They are part of it. The greatest warriors don't eliminate darkness. They integrate it, using its lessons to gain mastery over themselves. Look at any great story, from mythology to modern cinema. Every hero must face their shadow before they transcend. Batman needs the Joker. Neo needs Agent Smith. Without opposition, there's no transformation. Breaking free means seeing the game for what it is, a training ground for self-mastery. If you're constantly running from failure, pain, or discomfort, you're missing the key to leveling up. What if, instead of avoiding your fears, you face them head-on? What if, instead of rejecting your flaws, you learn to harness their power? The strongest players and characters aren't those who never fall, but those who rise stronger every time they do. The real challenge isn't about choosing between light or dark. It's about understanding their interdependence. Just as a video game wouldn't be fun without obstacles, life wouldn't be meaningful without struggle. But the moment you recognize that both forces are part of the same system, the illusion collapses. Suddenly, you stop playing like a pawn and start moving like a true master of destiny. This shift in perception is where real awakening begins, leading to the next level, transcending the very limits that once defined you. Transcending physical and mental limitations. Imagine playing a game where you believe you're stuck in a low-level zone, unable to progress, simply because someone told you that was your limit. That's how most people live, trapped by inherited beliefs, societal programming, and self-imposed restrictions. But just like in any video game metaphor, the real players don't accept the first set of boundaries as the ultimate truth. They test the edges, experiment, and push beyond perceived limitations. The body and mind are just tools. Your spiritual DNA holds the real blueprint of your potential. And once you realize that, nothing remains out of reach. One of the biggest lies in the Matrix is that physical and mental barriers are permanent. History is filled with people who shattered what was thought to be impossible. Athletes breaking records, scientists rewriting laws of nature, and ordinary individuals transforming their lives against all odds. The difference? They stopped seeing limits as walls and started treating them as checkpoints. Want to push past yours? Start small. If your mind tells you you're not the type to meditate, to lead, to create, question it. Challenge it. The more you step beyond what you think you can do, the more those false ceilings disappear. This is where transcendence begins, not by rejecting the physical, but by mastering it. Every great martial artist, monk, and visionary learned to control their body and mind like a joystick, not letting emotions, cravings, or outside pressures dictate their actions. They understood that conscious choices are the difference between being a mere NPC and becoming the one who rewrites the game. The more control you take, the more the game itself bends in your favor. And once you start playing from this perspective, you begin to see death, time, and reality itself from an entirely new angle. The role of death, time, and ultimate realization. In every game, there's a time limit. Whether it's a countdown or an unseen clock, the journey has an endpoint. But what if death as transition isn't a game over, but simply a respawn into a new level? The greatest mistake a player and character can make is fearing the inevitable instead of understanding it. Ancient wisdom, from the Tibetan Book of the Dead to quantum physics, suggests that consciousness doesn't die. It shifts. Just like a saved game carries progress into the next session, your timeless soul moves beyond this reality, carrying every lesson, every experience, every breakthrough. The trick is understanding that time itself is an illusion, a mechanic inside the matrix designed to make the experience feel linear. In reality, past, present, and future exist simultaneously, like different game files that can be accessed and rewritten. The reason some people seem to manifest their future effortlessly is that they've learned to move through time differently. They act as if they've already won, already succeeded, already become their highest self. And in doing so, reality bends to match their internal state. The moment you stop being a prisoner of time, you start playing like a master of destiny. But here's the ultimate realization. Everything you seek, every struggle, every challenge, it's all part of a game designed to wake you up. The real victory isn't escaping life, but mastering it. Once you understand the forces governing life, you stop playing for survival and start playing for transcendence. You stop fearing loss, pain, or even death, because you see them as part of a greater immersive experience. And when you reach that level of awareness, something remarkable happens. You realize that the game was never about winning. It was about remembering who you really are. So now that you see life for what it really is, a game with hidden mechanics, cycles, and rules, you have to ask yourself, are you playing consciously, or are you just running on autopilot? Are you making conscious choices, or are you still trapped in the matrix, letting fear and programmed beliefs dictate your every move? The difference between those who stay stuck and those who transcend isn't luck, it's awareness. And now that you have this awareness, what are you going to do with it? Because here's the thing, knowing the game exists isn't enough. You have to start breaking free, challenging the cyclic patterns that have controlled you for years. What belief has kept you small? What fear has held you back? If you could strip away all the illusions, all the conditioning, who would you become? The greatest players and characters in history didn't just accept the game, they mastered it. They studied it, experimented with it, and ultimately rewrote the code. Are you ready to do the same? If this unlocks something inside you, if you feel like you've just found the joystick you didn't even know you had, then don't stop here. Keep learning, keep questioning, and most importantly, start applying this knowledge to your life. And if you want to keep diving deeper into these hidden truths, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. There's so much more to uncover, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next.